Good morning. It's Thursday, November 6th. Here's what we're working on. The Ontario government is set to update its fall fiscal outlook today.
The trees are flattened. A lot of the towns up in the mountains are flattened.
A week after Hurricane Melissa devastated Jamaica, we'll tell you how you can help.
Chapman fires, just missed. Ovechkin turned, he scored!
And the NHL now has a 900-goal club. Welcome to Morning Live. Another couple of days with Simone here at the desk and for Annette.
Yeah.
Brian in once again for traffic and weather. How are things looking so far?
It's a little on the cool side this morning compared to what we had yesterday. Yesterday we were sitting at 9 degrees at 6 o'clock in the morning. So, lovely. But this morning we're at 2. Yeah. So big change with that cold front that went through yesterday. Triggered off some showers, triggered off some wind as well in a lot of areas. But what we're looking at for today is a bit of sun. Now there is a slim chance of a shower early this morning. Otherwise it's going to be, we'll call it a mainly cloudy day today. And today we're only going to hit 7 degrees and that's about it. So the cooler air has really pushed in. The winds will be fairly light for the day today, but mainly cloudy and 7 degrees for the day today. As far as tomorrow is concerned, we're looking at some rain settling in. Going to be fairly unsettled for Friday. So we'll talk about that coming up. Quick check on traffic. 403 Waterdown Road, nothing there. Looks pretty good at the moment. Let's go to the MTO traffic camera and show you where we do have a problem. This is the 403 going through Mississauga, and this is the camera just west of Mississauga Road. So you're looking at it looks like it's starting to clear. Some of the emergency vehicles are moving away. Yep, okay, that's starting to clear. That's good news. That's Niagara bound on the 403 west of Mississauga Road. So that's the only problem that we have this morning. Everything else is moving fairly nicely. Nikola Tesla Boulevard looks good. Base of the Skyway, nothing. We do have a problem in town Hamilton. Vineland Road is closed from Garfield Avenue South to Sherman Avenue South, and that's for a police investigation. We will continue to look at weather and traffic as the morning goes on. Right now, the news.
Thank you, Brian. Ontario Finance Minister Peter Bethlenfalvy is set to table a fall fiscal update today with a look at how the province's books are faring amid the effects of U.S. tariffs. Tessa Bennett joins us live from Sydenham Lookout with the details. Good morning, Tessa.
Good morning, Rick. This economic update from the Ontario government comes on the heels of the federal budget that was tabled earlier this week and is expected to focus partly on infrastructure and protecting jobs. Finance Minister Peter Bethlenfalvy says U.S. tariffs are taking direct aim at Ontario businesses and the province is ready to fight back. And today's economic statement will give an update on what Ontario has been doing to shore up the province's economy in the meantime. Here's Bethlenfalvy addressing reporters in Queen's Park yesterday.
Look, I've got a table at statutory obligation to table my fall economic statement before November 15th, and we're not in the House next week, so this is the appropriate time, and I'm very comfortable tabling it tomorrow. I'm not going to reveal what's in the fall economic statement. It is an update. It's not a budget. It's an update.
The government had projected earlier this year the province would have a $14.6 billion deficit for 2025, but the finance minister has said more recently Ontario has a strong fiscal foundation, citing lower costs of interest on debt, which provides some wiggle room for Ontario to spend more on infrastructure, tax relief, and the skilled workforce. Bethlenfalvy was critical of the federal budget tabled earlier this week, saying it lacked some ambition, particularly when it came to infrastructure spending and insulating workers from the impacts of tariffs. Now, we will be speaking with Minister Bethlenfalvy later today, so you can tune into our evening news to hear more about that. For now, I'm going to send it back inside to you, Simone.
Thanks, Tessa. Nova Scotia MP Chris d'Entremont may have surprised many this week when he left the Conservative caucus to join the Liberals, but the practice isn't that uncommon. More than 300 members of Parliament have changed parties while in office since 1867. The first known MP to cross the floor was Stuart Campbell, who left the anti-Confederates for the Liberal Conservatives. The practice of switching parties between elections is considered controversial. The president of the Angus Reid Institute says the move can get pushback from constituents and isn't uncommon for politicians to bow out of running and following elections.
The Carney minority government is now just 2 votes shy of being able to pass its first federal budget. Prime Minister welcomes Nova Scotia MP Chris d'Entremont to the Liberal caucus yesterday. The now former Tory was greeted by thunderous applause at yesterday's Liberal caucus meeting after he told the media his views no longer match up with Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. D'Entremont says he thinks other Conservatives are also considering making a move. The Globe and Mail is reporting multiple Liberal sources say there have been talks with other Conservatives about defecting. The Liberals only need 2 more seats for a majority.
We'll speak to anyone, publicly or otherwise, that can support us. It is a time to get big things done for Canadians and get them done fast.
Poilievre, meantime, hasn't commented on d'Entremont's defection, but on the way into Parliament yesterday, many Conservative MPs criticized d'Entremont for his decision.
While Tuesday's budget was characterized as a generational investment for industries and infrastructure, small businesses say it doesn't do much to help their tariff woes. Nico Apparel in Hamilton and its sister facility in St. Catharines have been manufacturing and shipping sports apparel for the past 35 years. About half of their goods are shipped to customers in the United States, and owner Joe Camillo says the cost of tariffs is starting to weigh on his business. Though he's optimistic for a new trade deal, he was hoping to see more support for small businesses included in the federal budget.
For us, it's not really impacting us the way we thought in terms of lower taxes and ease of just the burden of just handling the business, shipping goods across.
The Canadian Federation of Independent Business says it also was hoping to see more tax breaks for small businesses to help amid tariffs from the United States, India, and China.
There's an active police investigation in central Hamilton this morning. Hamilton police tell us roads are closed on Vineland Road from Garfield Avenue South to Sherman Avenue South after a person's body was found on the street at around 4:30 a.m. Police say at this point there is nothing to suggest foul play. The roads will be closed until at least the coroner arrives.
Norfolk OPP are investigating a sudden death in Port Rowan. Police say they were called to a home on Front Road on Tuesday afternoon. Police say this is an isolated incident. The cause of death remains under investigation, but residents can expect to see more police in the area as the investigation continues. Niagara police have charged a man with manslaughter after an altercation in a Niagara Falls parking lot. 55-year-old Gerald Fillion was initially arrested and charged with aggravated assault on a 57-year-old man. But on October 22nd, the victim died as a result of his injuries. Fillion remains on a release order pending future court dates. Police are asking for the public's help in identifying 2 suspects after a church in St. Catharines was targeted. They say the men damaged 2 windows at the St. George Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Investigators say this happened around 12:30 a.m. on Saturday, October 25th. Police say the suspects covered their faces and walked west on Facer Street from Granham Avenue before breaking the windows. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. The Prime Minister's office says Mark Carney has spoken with his Jamaican counterpart, Andrew Holness. Carney offered Canada's condolences after the destruction caused by Hurricane Melissa and said Canada will help with recovery efforts. That includes food, water, and health support through humanitarian partners. As the cleanup continues, the Jamaica Foundation in Hamilton is launching a campaign to help rebuild the country. It's called Hamilton Heart Jamaica, and it's asking residents to donate money in partnership with the Afro-Canadian Caribbean Association of Hamilton and the Hamilton Caribbean Women's Group.
I have a brother in Jamaica, I have nephews and nieces, and many friends. So I'm really, really distressed. Our family is trying to get word from them to see how they're doing. We want to raise at least $100,000 in the Hamilton area. We have a huge population of over 700,000. We know we can do this, and we know we can do this with everyone.
There are 2 events coming up where you can donate, with all the details online at the Jamaica Foundation, Hamilton.org.
Sportsline, the Great 8 has unlocked a new level of goal scoring in the National Hockey League.
Binnington waiting back behind his goal, wants to play it himself. Lost it there to Ovechkin. Quick relay comes to the point. Shepard fires, just missed. Ovechkin turns, he scores! The Great 8 is the one and only at 900.
Alex Ovechkin scored his 900th career goal, which also turned out to be the winner as the Washington Capitals beat the St. Louis Blues 6-1 last night. After breaking Wayne Gretzky's longtime record in the spring, the 40-year-old Ovi is the first player in NHL history to reach the milestone. The Caps bench cleared to congratulate their captain. All the while, Blues goalie Craig Binnington tried to hide the milestone puck by tucking it away in his pants. But linesman Michel Cormier forced Binnington to give it up. With the win, Washington snapped a 4-game losing streak. The Blues, they've lost 8 of their last 9.
Joshua sent that in just a stride too far for Michelli. Here's Joshua again. Out in front. Michelli scores! Matias Michelli! And that will feel good for the former Utah Mammoth.
Matias Michelli scored the winning goal with just over 4 minutes to play and added an assist to lead the Maple Leafs to a 5-3 win over Utah. A week after becoming the 49th player to score 500 career goals, John Tavares broke a 2-2 tie midway through the third period as Toronto picked up their third consecutive win. Austin Matthews, William Nylander, and Matthew Nice also scored for the Leafs, who've won 5 of their last 6. Stunning move in the CFL. The Ottawa Redblacks have named Ryan Dinwiddie their new head coach and general manager. The 44-year-old spent the last 5 seasons as head coach of the Toronto Argonauts and led them to 2 Grey Cup championships. Dinwiddie takes over the coaching duties from Bob Dice, who was fired after the regular season, and he assumes the GM title from Sean Burke, who is now Ottawa's vice president of football operations. CFL has announced this year's All-CFL team. BC quarterback Nathan Rourke beat out Hamilton's Bo Levi Mitchell for his first All-Star nod, which may provide a clue as to which of those 2 will win the league's Most Outstanding Player award. 5 Ticats earned All-CFL honors: receiver Kenny Lawler, offensive lineman Brandon Revenberg, defensive end Julian Hauser, cornerback Jamal Peters, and safety Stavros Katsantonis. Major League Baseball says Game 7 of the World Series between the Blue Jays and Dodgers was the most watched game since Game 7 of the 1991 World Series between Minnesota and Atlanta. LA's dramatic 5-4 win over Toronto in 11 innings last Saturday averaged 51 million viewers combined across the U.S., Canada, and Japan. The game averaged 11.6 million viewers in Canada on Sportsnet and French-language TVA Sports. MLB says the World Series was broadcast in 203 countries and territories by 44 media partners in 16 languages. The U Sports Women's National Soccer Championship kicks off today at McMaster University. The top 8 teams in the nation will duke it out from today until Sunday's final at Ron Joyce Stadium. The opening match begins at 11 o'clock this morning. The Marauders will play the University of Montreal at 7:30 tonight. Broncos host the Raiders tonight to start Week 10 of the NFL season. The Brantford Bulldogs remain the #1 team in the CHL's top 10 rankings. And in Allen Cup action tonight, the Wentworth Griffins host the St. Catharines Saints at Harry Howell Arena.
All right, 13 minutes after 6 o'clock. It's the 6th morning of November. Let's get into what's going on in traffic this morning. And there's really nothing going on the major routes at the moment. We're doing okay. Starting to fill in a little bit here. The 403 and Waterdown Road, our exclusive camera. The only other problem that we have in Hamilton is Garfield Avenue South. From Garfield to Sherman, Vineland Road is closed in that area for a police investigation. Let's go to some MTO traffic cameras. QEW 7th in St. Catharines is very light volume. Same with Nikola Tesla Boulevard. That was just there. Here's the Ford plant. Looks pretty good at the moment, so Toronto bound lane's heading away from us on that shot. And that camera was just there. Okay, well, let's go to our forecast here for the day today. We're looking at a temperature at the moment of 2 degrees, so it's a lot cooler this morning than it was yesterday morning. We have a mainly cloudy sky. The winds are fairly light, and the relative humidity is up there, so actually 2 is above seasonal for this time of year, so we'll take that. But we're only going to climb to 7 degrees for the day today, quite a bit cooler than yesterday. We got to 13. That chance of a shower is early this morning, but then it's just going to be a mainly cloudy sky for the day. That ridge of high pressure is going to help to get us a little bit of sunshine for the day, but then that frontal boundary approaching with the low is going to pull in some milder temperatures for tomorrow, but it's also going to pull in some rain, and then after that it's going to stay cloudy into our weekend. But today, temperatures generally 7 and 8 degrees, slim chance of a shower this morning, and then mainly cloudy to a mix of sun and clouds for later today. Tonight, just a few clouds, so skies will try to clear, but temperatures will be cool. -2 for Brantford, -1 for Kitchener and Guelph, otherwise 2 and 3 degrees for tonight. And then tomorrow, a little bit milder, approaching warm front, temperatures 11 and 12 degrees. We'll have a little bit of sun in the morning, but then it's rain later in the day, and it's going to become fairly windy as well. So stepping out the door this morning, 6th morning of November, Thursday, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies. Winds are light, temperature right now 2. Long range, of course, coming up. Simone, Rick.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Coming up after the break, the longest U.S. government shutdown in history. Could it Canadians' travel plans? The details next. 6:17 on your Thursday morning. Let's check the markets. The Canadian dollar is up 4 basis points to 70.93 cents U.S. Gold is $27.30 an ounce higher, and crude oil is up 53 cents, trading just over $60 U.S. a barrel. In midday European trading, markets are down in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
Over in Asia, markets were up in Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Shanghai. And on the North American markets, Bay Street bounced back by more than 300 points yesterday, lifted higher thanks to a good performance from the basic materials sector. Over on Wall Street, the Dow gained 226 and the Nasdaq closed 151 points higher.
The FAA says it will cut about 10% of flights at 40 major airports in the U.S. tomorrow as the government shutdown enters its 37th day. It's due to a shortage of air traffic controllers, and now airline companies are scrambling to adjust their schedules. The CEO of Frontier Airlines warns that some passengers could get stranded. Although many Canadians are avoiding travel to the U.S. in the face of President Donald Trump's tariffs and annexation threats, experts say it could still have a ripple effect on travel plans here because of how integrated the North American travel system is.
France's government has started a procedure to suspend access to online retail giant Shein until the company proves that its content conforms with French law. The finance ministry said authorities found illegal weapons and sex dolls with childlike features listed for sale on the fast fashion giant's website. The move came on the same day that Shein opened its first permanent store in Paris, inside one of the city's most iconic department stores. Yesterday morning, protesters camped outside the department store, but crowds of shoppers turned out undeterred. Shein has pledged to work with French authorities to address any concerns swiftly.
Fortnite video game maker Epic Games and Google are settling their 5-year legal fight over Android's App Store. Epic Games took issue with Google's Play Store and Apple's iPhone App Store, charging 15% to 30% commissions on in-app transactions. The settlement agreement calls for Google to limit those payments to between 9% and 20%, depending on the transaction. The agreement's specific terms remain under seal and must be approved by a judge.
Canadian Tire is bringing back the Hudson's Bay stripes just in time for the holidays. HBC blankets, kitchenware, pillows, tote bags, holiday stockings, and ornaments are among the first product collection featuring the stripes that the company is launching on December 5th. Canadian Tire says reviving past merchandise that customers are familiar with allowed the company to put together a collection just in time for Christmas. It usually takes about a year to make new products.
Canada's largest theatre chain is bringing new meaning to the term no spoilers. Cineplex is introducing Monday surprise premieres, where you buy a ticket for a major new release but don't find out what you're seeing until the lights go down. The bold experiment is Cineplex's latest attempt to get audiences back into multiplexes. A recent study commissioned by Telefilm found domestic movie theatre attendance in Canada has dropped by an average of 46% in the last 5 years.
I like that idea.
Yeah, quick time out. Brian is going to return with your traffic and your 7-day weather forecast. Good morning.
23 minutes after 6 o'clock, it's Thursday morning. We're looking at MTO traffic cameras, QEW, just east of Lake, and it looks pretty good at the moment. Toronto-bound lanes heading away from us right now through that camera in St. Catharines. South of 2, coming off the Skyway, nothing there. East of 4th, all the way through Lorne Park. Dipping into the 403 west of Mississauga Road. We had an earlier problem there, but it's not now gone, so things are moving nicely at the moment. Temperature feels a little cool this morning compared to what we had yesterday Sunday morning. We were 9 at this time yesterday. 2 for Hamilton at the moment, 1 Mississauga, 4 for Grimsby, and for Toronto as well. So seasonal temperatures are now 9 for a daytime high and 1 for an overnight low. Those are our sun times. Sun doesn't come up till a minute after 7 now. Record high for this date was last year. 20.5 degrees we got to last year. Today we'll get nowhere near that. We could get a shower this morning, and then it will be a mainly cloudy sky. So by the first bell, that chance of shower should be gone, and will be around 5 degrees, and there's that 7-degree high for after school. So that's how it shapes up for today. Tonight down to 2. Skies will try to clear. There'll be just a few clouds. Tomorrow we'll start off with some sun. It'll become cloudy, and then the rain settles in. It'll be a milder day at 11. So cloudy and 7 Saturday, and then look at the temperatures go down. 4 only on Sunday with showers. Monday, 2, that's the high for the day, 2 degrees, and then at least we'll come up to 4 degrees for Remembrance Day and 5 for Wednesday. That's your forecast. Simone, Rick.
Thanks, Brian. Are you expecting a new addition to your family? The tough part is always choosing the right name.
American App Baby Center has released its ranking of the most popular names for newborns in 2025. The top girl's name is Olivia, while Noah is most popular for boys. That's the same as last year, as are the number 2 names, Amelia and Liam. Now, there were 2 new entries on the girls' top 10, Eliana and Aurora. And for boys, Luca rejoined the top 10 after falling off the list last year, pushing out Leo.
These babies are so cute.
Look at them.
Can we just run baby videos all morning?
So adorable.
And fawn over them?
Rick, did you tap into this list to name your kids?
No.
No.
We, my wife and I bought one of those old-fashioned books.
Oh.
Yeah, with baby names and what they meant and their origins and all that stuff.
That?
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
And we went through the whole list, A to Z, or Z.
Yeah, see, my parents were more trying to find different names that aren't on cups or keychains. So growing up, it was always hard. My name was never on anything, but maybe they will going forward.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Stay with us. More to come after the break here on Morning Live. So you never found a Simone?
No Simone. There might be some now. I haven't checked.
Probably.